And welcome back to the Northeast Florida Surf Fishing Forecast for October 16th through the 18th. This was taken at the Jacksonville Beach Pier this afternoon. Water is still beautiful, and from all the reports I've gotten, pretty much Ponte Vedra, Hanna Park, Huguenot Park, Little Talbot, Villano, the water is beautiful everywhere. Tons of sand fleas in Jack's Beach right now, guys, so if you haven't stocked up, do it. Like I said, the water is beautiful. We're also on king tides, so when the tide comes in, man, it comes up fast and it's high. We had a few reports from Ponte Vedra when at the high tide, people had actually walked through the water just to get back to the ramp. As you can see, the water is clear. There are also mullet, knee deep. Nothing chasing them though. Never saw a Spanish or blue jump. But there are Spanish around. I've heard of some good catches in the last few days. Right now, the Spanish are eating finger mullet and spoons and gotchas if you have them. With the Spanish, when you fish them with a live mullet, if you can free line them, that's great. But there has to be literally no wind and no surf, or else it's going to continually push the mullet back up on the beach. So in that case, when it's like that, you use an egg sinker or a pyramid if you want, and use a longer leader, 18 to 24 inches. And it allows the mullet to swim up into the Spanish's, line of sight. The Spanish aren't really bottom feeders, guys. Neither are the bluefish. They're more of upper water column, so you want that mullet swimming up. Now, of course, when you target the flounder along the inlets, you want a shorter leader. The flounder lay on the bottom, as you all know. So you want your bait as close to the bottom as possible. So when that mullet is right on the bottom and the flounder sucks them in, longer the leader, the better chance the mullet has to get away from the flounder. But the last few days have been pretty good. I wouldn't say tremendous amounts of pompano, but there are pompano, as you saw a couple pictures. Some nice pompano. I've got some reports of pompano up to 20 inches measured at the fork. So that's a nice fish. That's a three or 4 pound fish probably this time of year as they're coming back south, and nice and hefty. Also whiting, very scattered whiting catches, 4 or 5 here, 4 or 5 there, and honestly, just when you're not getting a bite in one area, just move. Look for the runouts, because right now with the water holding around 77 degrees and it's been pretty flat all week with clean water, the whiting aren't going to be in the big numbers like they are when it's more of like a northeast wind and you got more current, a little bit sanded up in the water, and cooler water. So if you get 2 or 3 here, then they stop biting, move to the next run out. And also, don't forget, bring fish bites, sand fleas, plenty of sand fleas, guys. They are everywhere right now. And some of them are bigger than a quarter, but don't use those. Look for the ones that are about the size of a nickel or a dime. Pompano and whiting love them. If you put those big old quarter-size sand fleas on, as I saw today, the big stingrays absolutely love them. Don't do it. You don't want to lose a rig because these are 40, 50 pound stingrays that are eating these big sand fleas. Like I said, you need to have 4 or 5 baits with you. Fish bites bring the pink color, the yellow color, clam flavored, shrimp flavored, crab flavored, all of those work. Bring crab knuckles, which is blue crabs, and you cut them into the knuckles. Fresh clams, like I said, sand fleas, and what I always do, I buy 2 or 3 dozen live shrimp and put them on a bag of ice. I don't like buying dead shrimp that's already dead because it falls apart a lot faster unless it comes right off the shrimp boat and I know it's fresh. Other than that, I always buy it live and put it in the bag on ice, and that's how I fish for my drum and sheephead from the beach as well, with that fresh shrimp like that. And there's also been some reds caught. They're hitting the mullet and dead shrimp. Also fish bites too. The fish bites crab flavored, which seems to be working well. It works great in the river too for the bull red. So if you're red fishing in the river and you don't want to carry some crabs and forget about them in your live well so they stink, pick up a pack of fish bites. Strike Zone, I think Rick's, B&M, and then you got the fish bites down in St. Augustine now, the main store. They have everything. So if you live down that way, you can pick up everything you need there. Ask for Brett Warren and he'll help you out, guys. The black drum have shown up. I caught some nice drum today. The sheephead are here. I caught the drum and sheephead on sand fleas. I threw shrimp. All that was eating at was little trash fish picking at it. But the sand fleas were the go-to bait today, guys. Now the other day, all they hit was shrimp. So like I said, that's why I always recommend bringing a couple different baits. Now what can we look forward to for this weekend? So tomorrow's not the weekend, but it's Friday. Tomorrow looks to be the most fishable day left in the last 3 days of this week. We're going to have northwest winds in the morning, 7 to 10, switching to the northeast, 5 to 10. Surf 1 to 2 foot. So if you can fish tomorrow, do it. You'll have incoming low tides around 2 in the afternoon and incoming the rest of the evening. Now with these king tides, let me tell you something. It came in awfully fast today. Once the tide turned, seems like we were having to move our stuff back about every 5 minutes, or else you're having the waves wash it away on the beach. Then we get to Saturday. Northeast 20 to 25 with surf 3 to 6 foot. That's what they're calling for. So obviously it could be lighter, which we would hope. But chances are when we have these forecasts of 20 to 25, I've noticed here lately in the last several weeks, it's actually stronger than that. It's sometimes reaching up to 30. So that's going to dirty the water up. There's going to be big surf. And then again on Sunday, east-northeast 10 to 20 with surf 3 to 5 foot. So maybe Sunday afternoon on the dead low tide, last couple hours of low tide along the beaches here, because of the east-northeast element, the current may not be so bad. It might be more of an east current, I call it, pushing straight in at the sand. If it was straight northeast, you're going to have a strong north to south current. So east-northeast isn't bad. I fished in east at 25 before on the beach and absolutely killed the whiting and pompano because there was no current, just heavy surf. And I had chip brundages, aka the sinker guys, sinkers, so I held in place and used sand fleas and fresh shrimp and killed them. So that's possible. Just keep an eye out. There's a few cameras. Go to surfline.com. They have cameras up and down the beach. So pretty much no matter where you live along the east coast of Florida, you can see what the surf conditions are. Maybe not at the exact beach you're fishing, but in that general area. So that always gives a good option. If you don't have eyes on the ground, you can open up your computer and find out what's going on. Also, I use iWindsurf. They have a lot of live weather stations up and down the east coast that give the local winds. So a lot of times with a northeaster, it's going to be windier at the beach than inland. So if you're inland and you don't think it's that strong, make sure to check either the cameras or actually the wind app, because you may pack up and go down to the beach and realize it's too windy to even fish because the surf is 4 or 5 foot and the wind's 25 miles an hour. Like I said, there's plenty of sand fleas, mullet, Spanish and blues, redfish, black drum, whiting, pompano, still sharks around, still tarpon around, still speckled trout around. I've seen all of that caught this week. Like I said, not in huge numbers, but decent numbers, enough to take home to eat. This is a small cold front coming in this week, and like one day it's going to be Saturday 71 for a high. Then it jumps right back up to 80. But the good thing is north of us in the Carolinas it's going to be colder, same as South Carolina. So all those pompano that are still in those areas will start to push south even faster. So the colder it gets north of us, the faster the fish move down this way, the pompano. Now the whiting, however, they are not migratory. Literally, they just go in deeper water off the coast. During the summer, you can catch them in 20 to 30 foot of water all summer long, big ones. So as it cools off, they come back in shallow to feed. So if you're not going to fish this weekend, the sand fleas will still be there. So I suggest going and loading up on them. And right now, the river fishing is as well around here in Northeast Florida is really good. Sheephead, flounder, tons and tons of bull redfish, guys. They're everywhere. So if you haven't ever caught one and you have a boat, just check on Facebook at all the local groups. These guys are posting the reds and the backgrounds in most of the pictures, so you can figure it out. If not, just look for deeper water, 25 to like 45 foot deeper water with a moving current, blue crab, cut mullet, fish bites, the crab flavored. And don't use light tackle, guys. Use the heavy tackle when you're fishing in steep water. The longer it takes to reel in that red, the worse chance it has of actually surviving being released. And if you haven't done so, check it out on YouTube, the proper way to vent a redfish if you have to. Too many redfish have been floating down the river here lately from people not properly venting them, guys. These guys are the future of the stock. They lay all the eggs, so let's protect that. And after this video, I have the tides, so you can check out the tides. Really high tides, guys. If you have a boat and you want to fish the flood tides, that'll be fun too. Lots of reds. I suspect after this blow we got coming in Saturday and Sunday, the mullet migration will be full bore along the beach. However, looking at future forecast for next week, for most of the week you're looking at 3 to 5 foot surf with northeast winds. There's a tropical disturbance out there, out in the Atlantic, that's trying to form, and they don't really know what it's going to do. So chances are it's going to send some surf this way, and if it gets closer, a lot more wind. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because we all need to get out and fish. Stop watching the news, because there's nothing good on there but political garbage. When we fish, there's no political garbage, guys. So with that said, I hope everyone has a great weekend, and show me what you catch.